Yeah, so hi everyone. Dr. Lakshana Mohee from Ansys. I feel like I'm the only outsider here, sneaking it with my from an industry perspective. But basically, I am part of the academic development team in Ansys. So I come for some of you who've heard of EduPack before. I used to be part of the academic development team there, and then Ansys acquired Granta back in 2019. So now I'm part of Ansys, but still part of the academics community and educators community. And as a result, I've been coming to the conference for the last 3 years, as well as soon as I heard of it. I'm happy to be part of this community and to get your perspective on some of these things. So from what we see in industry, there's a big gap between what is expected in terms of solving healthcare applications within an industry setting. And from what I was told during undergrad, master's, and my PhD when it comes to modeling or material selection of, in my case, I worked on a tissue scaffold, so collagen scaffold for tissue engineering. But what I've seen so far in Ansys, we deal with a wide spectrum of healthcare applications in industry. So what we try to do, my colleague and I, she couldn't be here today, but we try to think of how would we teach this to students. So we don't have students to experiment this on. We have you, educators and academics, to give us some feedback. So what we try to do is to break down the workflow and to connect the material selection part to the design process of how to model a stent. So as we go through creating a model of the stent and then to applying a number of different sequences of testing, we just realize how complex it is in terms of having to do that ourselves from an industry perspective, and then having to teach that to students is something else. So we made it even simpler. We decided to focus on one type of test, which is the bending test. So this is the one that you see here in the GIF. Yanfen, if you could just click on that GIF here. It's a very simple model, but what it does, it just shows how if you apply a force in the middle of a stent and you've meshed it properly, and then you've worked on what kind of stent you would like, what kind of geometry it should look like, and what kind of material you would like it to be made of, then you could just easily visualize it and have students understand that philosophy. So what we did is just put together the material selection part on. We used the material selection methodology by Professor Ashby, looking at the design, constraints, functions, etc., and then identify the top materials that we would like to use. And once again, the behavior of the materials as expected completely changed the outcome of the test. But what we wanted to do is to kind of highlight at the introductory level what the thought process is. So if we choose stainless steel, which is like the simplest material that we have, and we do a very simple bending test, then would students be able to grasp that concept? Would they be able to apply more mechanical attributes to that to take it further, and then finally simulate that stent within an artery setting? So the answer is we don't know. So I was wondering if any of you had any interest or any experience within this field, and if this kind of work here as part of the academic team would be useful for you, because that's kind of what we do. We create content, we create webinars, we create demos of what we see from the industry perspective for the academic community. So it's a very short and sweet presentation, but the idea here is to learn from you today and see how we can improve things. Thank you.